Two Sheds, Gabby here. I think I'm going to do a box of nickels starting tonight. I thought I was going to get to one of my boxes of pennies next, but I picked up this box of nickels today. I just can't resist. I'm really, I want one of those 2024s. I want a box of them, but one would be a good start. I am into the 6th row, and this is the first nickel I've come across that I will keep. I keep all of them from 1959 and older, just as my collectible hoarding stash, I guess you'd say. I really, really want to find a 2024. I have found one, so seems possible to get another, doesn't it? I'm seeing quite a few 2023s. I want to find a few just for myself, but I'd love to find a lot because they are selling good on eBay still. And it's nice to make a little extra cash just from your hobby. Oh, those fine looking 90s mints. I'm not finding as many of the older ones so far at all that I found in the last box. Even though I didn't find a 2024 in the last box, I got some good stuff. I got a really nice condition 45 wartime silver. Got a couple of Buffalo nickels. Both of them have readable dates. One of them's close, but it's still readable. And a couple of coins from the 80s that are just almost uncirculated. Right at the end of the 10th row, and I found a 1947. Just not as many of the older ones, and lots of newer stuff, but just no 2024s, sadly. I think I'm going to go back into my collection and find my 2024 just to prove to myself I did find one. Okay, here it is. I really did find one. All right, now let's go find another one. This is the 12th row, 1954. Oh, San Francisco. Well, that's kind of neat, finding those. 54S. You know, a few months ago, I wrecked my GMC, and fortunately, nobody was hurt or nothing, but we went today looking at a few vehicles, and we went and looked at a 2012 GMC Terrain. Said it was in really good shape and gets good gas mileage and that sort of thing, but we test drove it. It felt awful. Oh, man. It's like, no, sorry. It was just not good at all. And we got to thinking about it, and it's like, that's a 4-cylinder. It's why it gets some decent mileage. That's just too much car, in my opinion, for a 4-cylinder. And we've decided not to even look at any of those, any SUV that's got a 4-cylinder. We're just going to pass. Look for a bigger motor. Get a little less gas mileage. But I think they last longer. The GMC that I wrecked was a 2003, couple 100,000 miles plus, and it was still running great. Right at the end of the 13th row, and I found a 1946 Philadelphia. I found several of these 46s 2 days ago in that box I went through. Now into the 15th row. Here's a 1954. Pretty scuffed up, too. Pretty bad there. I'm finding a few of these now, Philadelphia. I was beat up around the edge. But not much else. Still got, there's a 59. Still got over half the box to go. It could still happen. When I come to the back of one like this, it's like, let this be the one. You know, it looks kind of brand new. 2022. I was so caught off guard on that one that I found. It's like I almost didn't. It's like, did I really get that? I think I saw today on eBay where a guy was, well, a person, I don't know if it was a guy or not, was selling rolls of 2024 Ds. I think it was $255 a roll. Can you imagine? Pretty good return for a $2 investment. This is the 23rd row, and here is a 1941. When I saw that color, I was just sure I had a silver, but it is not, unfortunately. Pretty worn, pretty old. Philadelphia. Just haven't been finding too much this box. Not like the last one. I'm almost halfway through the box now, and just a handful of older coins is all I've got to show so far. We're going to go look at a Buick in the morning. I don't know if it's an SUV. I think maybe it's more like a car shaped like an SUV. I'm not familiar with it. It's a six-speed shiftable automatic transmission. Not familiar with them, but I'm looking forward to test driving it. And who knows, we might even come home with it. That'd be kind of neat. Tired of looking. I don't like looking for cars all the time. I am now halfway through the box. While I was at the bank a couple days ago, I saw a tree. I'm going to show you right here. And it looks like a deer turned into a tree. Isn't that amazing? I'm now at the first row in the second half. And got a 1952 here. It is a D. That's only the 9th older coin that I found in the box and nothing else yet. So, definitely not as good as the last box I went through. You know, you just got to keep trying. And the more boxes you go through, the more good stuff you find. So that's just the way this game is. And, you know, there's not impossible still to find something good in this box. There's a 58 D. Knocked my little stack over. This is the second row in the second half. And here's a 1940. You know, that last box I went through didn't have a 38 or 39. Had quite a few older coins, but neither one of those. That one's a Philadelphia. When I was well, my mom is a seamstress. Let me start with that. She's been a seamstress all my life and before. But she makes clothes for people and repairs clothes and does all types of stuff. But when my brother was a teenager, he asked her to make him a tuxedo with tails. Really a black, with a really slick looking thing. It was really cool. And he wore it for a couple of years. And then he let me have it. And I wore it for a few years. I loved it. I wore it to school when I went to school, which wasn't all that often. Out partying and whatnot. Of course, obviously in the wintertime, not in the summertime. But I really liked that tux with tails. And one girl said she thought I looked like I had pretty long, thick hair, bushed out if I didn't take care of it, which I usually didn't. But she said I looked kind of like a vampire or something. Well, in the second row, in the second half, I did find a Canadian 1986. I believe that is one of the years that's the same as ours. It's 25% nickel and 75% copper. You know, I never dreamed it was going to be this hard to find a couple of 2024s. I never expected to get a ton of them, but I thought I'd be finding one here and there with more frequency than this. Yeah. I found a couple of West Point quarters. Why can't I find a 2024 nickel? Where did you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Well, here's another 46 at the end of this row. Philadelphia. There's a funny colored thing. Let's say 1990, I think. 2023. 10th row in the second half, and here is another 1946. That's what I got the most of the last box. Did somebody dump a bunch of 1946s, you reckon? It's Philadelphia. Did you do the math a little while ago? I said that the person on eBay was getting $255 for a uncirculated roll of 2024D. That is pushing $13,000 for a box. There's a 58D. How would you like to get a box of 2024Ds? Golly. That's a chunk of money there. That'd buy my Buick and then some. And now, the 12th row in the second half, I found a 1949. An S would be nice for a semi-key date. And it's not. 1949, Philadelphia. The last row, I found one from the 50s as well. I had a fella write to me this morning. He said, why do you have several channels on here? I don't remember how he worded it, but I said, well, back during COVID, I got on one of the other platforms just a little while. It looks like an older one right there. For another 46. Wow. That's weird how many of those I'm finding. And he came back and said, no, I mean on YouTube. You're on several different channels. I said, no, I'm not. And he told me one person, he said, that's you, that's your hands, and that's you talking. Like, I don't think, I went and looked up, I forget who he said it was, but I went and looked, and it's a person that shows their hands like I do, and they talk while they're going through coins. And I said, that person is not using my mats. It's not my voice, and his hands are younger than my hands. It's not me. He was convinced that I had 2 or 3 different channels, but I don't. The end of the 13th row, and there is a rough-looking 1941. Phew, that's pretty beat up there. 2023. What do you think about this 57? I see a little bit of something on the top edge by his head. Something don't seem quite right there, but the coin is really nice condition. I may need to look at that underneath my Tom Love. But I think you can almost see the top couple of stairs on the Monticello. Yeah, see where it says trust, the ST? Something about that looks kind of weird. All along there, where it says starting at the end of the W in We Trust. Looks odd to me. Anyway, it's in awfully good condition. I think I'll set this one aside, and I may look at it a little closer, but I think I'll definitely keep this one aside. Pretty nice coin. And then I drop it. I am so terrible at that. So, like 7 rows to go. And I noticed my phone was starting to go down a little bit. So I said, I better plug it in and start charging it up. And I plugged it in, and I said, now as soon as I get it plugged in, I'll have to unplug it because I'll find something. No way. There she is. We found one. The elusive 2024D. All except for right there, it looks the same as the others. Well, that's so cool. This one's going to go in a 2x2 flip. I'll have to find a few more before they start making their way on eBay. But we found one, folks. Can you believe it? That's really neat. That's 2 I have found now. You know, you get this far along in the box and you just start getting kind of cynical, like, well, I'm not going to find one of those. And then boom, there it was. Pretty fun, pretty exciting. Now, if I can just get 49 more rows plus 39 more coins, then I can start selling them by the box. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. I have a friend that says I have the gift of gab and I could sell anything. I'm not a salesman. I mean, if I go out trying to sell somebody else's products, I've done it a few times in my life and I had mediocre success at best. I just don't like to talk people and get buying something they don't want to buy. Now, if I have an idea of my own, I might try to talk you into buying into my idea. But I guess, I don't know. I'm not a big salesman. Now with 2 rolls to go, here's another 1946. Pretty weird. Oh, there's an S. I believe that might be the first S one that I found out of these 2 boxes. That's fun. Cool. I was talking about not being a salesman, but I can sometimes project my influence. But, you know, the Apostle Paul says, I persuade men. And that's what, as Christians, that's what we need to try to do, is persuade people to repent and start living right. And obviously, there's another 52. Obviously, there are people who just don't want to, and I'm not going to beat them to death. But if we get a chance to talk, I'll say what I have to say and then see what they have to say back. And if I feel like they're interested, we'll talk more. And I'll do the best I can to influence the best I can. 2 more rows. Well, I'm finished going through the box now, and I would say this box is not quite as productive as the last one. You know, no silver, no buffaloes. I did find one that's pretty decent condition, and it's in the 50s. But the fun part is I got the 2024 that I've been looking for. that did just make it quite fun finding that. Pretty neat. I got a couple little stacks of the 40s and 50s that I'll put away. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get out there and find you some 2024s. I hope you get a box of them. I hope I do too. We'll see y'all later.